Welcome to MATC Now. On today's show, we visit the supermarket legends. We'll explore the Center for Driver's License Recovery in Foundation Hall. Then we look at MATC's new Automated Building Systems Lab and gain more insight on their amazing program. Then we sit, chat, and get to know Jeannie Bynum, MATC's alum and acting director of student life. Stay tuned for that and more on MATC Now. Welcome to MATC Now. I'm your host, Sarai Perez. We are here in our great PBS studios in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. We welcome this week's co-host, the wonderful and multi-talented Heather Cook Elliott. Thanks for coming and being on our show today, Heather.
Thanks so much for having me.
And now, Heather, I think you're familiar with the group in our first package, the Milwaukee-based Supermarket Legends.
Absolutely. It's a wonderful organization that I've been volunteering with for the last couple of months, and I'm super excited to see the next package.
Well, MATC Now's Shamariah Hurt and Josh Wisniewski went to talk with them, and now they ensure you're registered and kept up to date on elections.
Linnea Sundstrom is an organizer for Supermarket Legends, an organization which helps people register to vote and teaches them basic voting information.
Contact the Social Security Administration. My group, we try to work in advance, try to pay attention to what's coming up so that we can let people know, make people aware. Our mission is to get the people of Milwaukee to vote in every election, not just once every 2 years or once every 4 years, but we may have as many as 4 elections a year. We do have 4 elections a year this year in 2018, and we want people to start participating in every one of those because they're all important.
The voting process is a bit more complex than just filling in a circle.
The voting process varies a little bit depending on when you decide to vote. So in Wisconsin, we have a period within 2 or 3 weeks before the election when you can do an in-person absentee ballot, or most people call it early voting. So if you do that, you have to get to your municipal clerk's office here in Milwaukee. That would be City Hall. And if you're voting on election day, then you go to the individual polling place that's near where you live. If you're voting early, you're going to actually fill out an absentee ballot. So it's a little bit different process than if you vote on election day. The ballots are all gathered up and counted on election day, so that part of the process is the same no matter when you vote.
Knowledge is power, so it's always good to know what you're getting into before you go to vote.
The main thing to really empower voters is just to give them accurate information about what their rights are when they get to the polling place. Like I said, we've had a lot of changes to the laws over the last few years, and so people get confused, and sometimes they don't really understand what's expected of them. So for example, when you come into a polling place now, I think everybody knows you have to show a photo ID. A lot of people don't know which photo IDs are acceptable. A lot of the work that we do is informing people about that, which ID that they can use. The person when you check in is going to ask you to state your name and address. They're not picking on you, that's how they have to do the process. You need to sign the polling book now, that's a fairly new thing. So it's just a good practice to kind of understand what you're going to encounter when you get to the polling place so that it doesn't take you by surprise.
And students, don't worry, you can get in on the action too.
Students, the first thing to know for college students in Wisconsin, is that you have the choice of voting from your campus address or voting back home. That's up to you. You just can't do both. So choose one. If you want to vote back home, you may need to order an absentee ballot to be sent to you. You fill it out, and then you put a photocopy of your photo ID, and you get that back to your municipal clerk back at your home address. You can do that through the myvote.wi.gov website. You can order the ballot, and then you'll send it in by mail. But you can vote from your campus address as well.
And if you're a student voting for your very first time, don't worry, there are plenty of people able and willing to help you.
So it is a little scary the first time you go in to vote. I remember the first time I voted, it just seemed kind of odd and different. So there's a few things you can do. First of all is just to know what to expect. So you come in the door, someone may greet you at the door and ask you if you're registered to vote or not, so that you can get into the registration line if you need to. Otherwise, you just go up to the table, give your name and address. The person sitting at the table is going to check to see if you're in the polling book, meaning that you're registered to vote. If you're not, it's okay. Then they'll send you over to a registration table and you can register there at the polling place.
That'd be great. West Campus is West House. Just so. What?
Students, don't be afraid to vote. For more information on Supermarket Legends and for registration information, please check them out at legendsvote.org or at your local event near you. Heather, the Supermarket Legends seemed like a great resource for students interested in voter registration. Do you have other information for new elections or electors?
Absolutely. The biggest one is that we don't just vote in November every 4 years. In fact, on April 4th is the next election, where we'll be voting for Supreme Court across the entire state, as well as some really interesting Milwaukee County judges and different things that would be important to students. And the last thing would be that there is a League of Student Voters here at MATC.
Nice
you can always volunteer with us at Supermarket Legends, or you can volunteer with your own League of Student Voters.
Good to know. There's a lot to ensure that you're registered to vote, and after that, your voice is ready to make a difference. Get out there and vote. Up next, Sean Stembridge stopped by MATC Owens Foundation Hall to show us the Center for Driver's License Recovery and Employability. Take a look.
I am a lead case manager for Wisconsin Community Services. We're nestled in between the C and the S buildings. Just follow the signs and it'll lead you up to the 8th Floor Foundation Hall. You have the Center for Driver's License Recovery. You have the Hunger Task Force. Community Advocates is located up here, as well as breast care. And then we do have some UWM employees who help clients transition over from MATC to UWM. What we do, we provide a vital service. We help individuals whose driver's license has been suspended or revoked. We also provide legal services. We have 2 lawyers on staff as well as 2 case managers on staff. So what we do, most of our clients are suspended due to failure to pay a fine. So we provide services in a way where we'll try to get our clients' payment plans. And what's unique about our program, we are the only program in the state of Wisconsin. We do not charge any fee for our services, and that's one of the unique things about our services. We don't charge any fee. And majority of our clients are low-income clients. A client could be suspended for not paying a $10 seatbelt ticket. You can actually get suspended for not paying a $10 seatbelt ticket. It's very vital that we help our clients get a valid driver's license, because many of our clients continue to drive on a suspended or revoked driver's license. Clients who actually receive an OWI, they're required to do what you call an impact assessment. So if you walk in, the process, we will run your driving record. And if you qualify for our program, we will do an intake with one of the case managers. So that entails us getting some information. If you are an MATC student or anyone in the community, if you believe that you may have a suspended driver's license or a revocation, just give us a call or walk in, because we can always pull up your driving record to see what's going on. And even if you don't have a suspension or revocation, we have some people who just don't know the steps of going about obtaining your driver's license, and we can walk through and advise our clients on how you go about getting a driver's license, as far as taking the written test, needing a road test, and getting a probationary license. You can do a walk-in. Our doors is always open during our operating hours. And then you can also call our main line by calling 414-297-6407.
Hello and welcome back. Opportunities are popping up everywhere at MATC, and everyone has a chance at them. MATC looks to be giving everyone a chance at anything. What do you think, Heather?
I think it's amazing what MATC does. As a citizen of Milwaukee County, I'm really impressed with everything the college is doing.
MATC has always been the first to push for industry standards, equipment to be used in classes on our campuses. With the education, students are able to gain an excellent knowledge in many trades. To tell us more, we are joined by David Polk, Associate Dean of Apprenticeship and Trades. Thanks for coming and welcome to MATC Now, David.
Thank you.
Can you tell us what is, well, we know that you are the Associated Dean of Trades and Apprenticeships, but what does that entail?
Basically, it's helping to bolster the partnership that MATC has, not only with the trades, but also with the training of students in the trades through apprenticeship.
And how does MATC tie to local businesses and the community, and how does that benefit students studying trades?
Well, MATC being a two-year college, we are the first to send students to the door of employers. So we take a lot of direction from employers on what we should be teaching. And then we pass that knowledge down to our students to prepare them for employment opportunities.
That's great. So what kind of trades are taught there, and what are the most popular?
Well, my office is housed at ECAM at MATC South Campus. Some of the hotter trades that are just absolutely exploding, HVAC, sheet metal, steam fitter, those specifically are just they're begging for people, and they're putting on an amazing amount of apprentices.
Good to know. So what is the apprenticeship, and how does MATC guide the students through that course?
So the apprenticeship is every apprenticeship, the guidelines therein are handed down by the state. So that means if you're an apprentice in the Milwaukee area or an apprentice in Eau Claire, you have this exact same training. Now that training is a partnership between the state, MATC, and that specific trade. MATC's role is to provide the classroom learning for those apprentices. So if you're a sheet metal apprentice, you'd work 4 days a week. You'd come to MATC 1 day a week, but you're paid for 5 days of work.
Wow.
So you end an apprenticeship with basically no student debt and a lot of upward mobility.
That is awesome. And final question, what kind of demand are there for the trades?
Well, in Milwaukee, as you can see across the street from our downtown campus, we have a beautiful arena going up and a lot of construction in the downtown area. We'll probably soon have a huge campus about an hour to the south of us. So the construction trades are absolutely exploding. There's a huge need for tradespersons and apprentices.
Thank you for coming. Today's program of the week is a bit special. They just got a brand new lab down in South Campus. There are a lot of aspects that are going into figuring out how the building operates, from monitoring climate control in rooms to lighting schedules to save energy. Automatic building systems need to be calculated and programmed. Think of it like the thermostat at your house, but for a giant building. A handful of MATC students are learning how to use new technology and gadgets to keep buildings energies and cost efficient, showing skills that are very highly sought after. Wendy Kujawa and Davion Yarn show us more.
This past August, the Center for Energy Conservation and Advanced Manufacturing offered a new program at MATC's Oak Creek campus as part of the School of Technology and Applied Sciences.
There's controls for heating and cooling systems in every building. And it's a big issue because we have a lot of complicated technology today, and it has to somehow be controlled. These control systems that the technicians are working on are necessary for that, and it's in all the buildings around us. Automated Building Systems is a program, one-year diploma, that's set up to give people the basics for controlling buildings temperature-wise and for air quality-wise, so people are comfortable in their space. This is one of the field controllers, and a field controller is typically dedicated to 1 or 2 pieces of equipment. So in this case, it's dedicated to the air handler, and we're able to make the connection on the laptop to this Bluetooth device. And then that allows us to go and grab the program off of here, download it onto our computer, and then we can look at it, modify the program, save it, and download it back to the controller so that it operates the way that we want it to. So it's both a programming mechanism and also troubleshooting, helps you to find problems with the system. This stuff can be really fun. You're playing on computers, you're pulling wire, you're getting to play around with mechanical equipment and see how dampers actuate, and based on your commands, and see what type of things happen when you change temperature set points. They have a lot of different tools they actually end up using.
I already have 2 years in the field, and I rolled in ABS because I'm already using building automation systems, but I'm looking to continue growing and expanding my knowledge base to make adjustments and further depth to operate the buildings.
From my perspective, and why I'm in this area, is simply because I look at it as a way to cut back on our energy consumption, which helps the environment, which helps the global climate change, and reducing humans' impact on driving that. What we have here is a digital lighting control system. It has what you recognize as normal light switches. The students would work on programming this set of controls for this switch to do various levels of lighting on this particular fixture. And you can rearrange it to do other things. You can set up a schedule through here so it operates anytime you want. You can have it operate just over lunch hour, or you can have it operate from 5 in the morning till 10 at night. You can establish these different schedules that it's available. But more importantly, you establish what the switches can do and also how it integrates with your occupancy sensors and with daylight sensors. Another reason somebody might want to get into this field is because there's a really high demand for it. We have a lot of people graying out right now. In other words, there's a lot of baby boomers who are retiring. It's projected that in the next 5+ years, over half the workforce is going to retire. Somebody can take just 1 year, 2 semesters in a program full time and walk out of the door, even with no prior experience, at minimum $40,000 a year, maybe as high as $50,000 a year. Qualities that make somebody good for this program are curiosity, wanting to use their hands, is good with a computer, and has a curiosity about buildings and how they interact with our experience in them.
If automated building systems is something that sounds interesting, you can find more information by contacting Ted directly at wilinski@matc.edu or call 414-571-4510. You're never too old or young to learn new skills or programs. Now, before we get to our next package, we have Brian Minin, current student in the ABS program, here in studio. Brian, welcome to MATC Now. Can you tell us, how does ABS and the skills taught at that department affect in everyday life?
Great. Well, first, thank you for having me. Automated building systems basically envelops all the different parts of a building, from the lighting systems, from the heating, air conditioning, all the way to fire protection, safety. It's the idea of putting everything in a way that you don't have to touch it. Set it once and it's done. Oh. So when you think of like homes of the future and think of all these futuristic things,
that's exactly what comes to mind.
Exactly, yeah. And that's exactly what we're studying in a way. So.
Awesome.
Great.
So would you recommend the ABS program to new students at MATC?
Oh, absolutely. Phenomenal. It's a 1-year course, so 2 semesters worth. And afterwards, we're looking at starting salaries anywhere between $45,000 to $55,000 just starting off. So if you only invest for 2 years a semester, I mean, there's so many people coming into our classes looking and hungry for technicians and people specialized in what we're doing. Yeah.
So tell us about what exactly is taught at ABS.
Sure. So I'm looking at a lot of things like control logic, how to look at when a thermostat says you want to set at 69, what has to take place inside the air conditioning system, the big large ones for buildings and our different air conditioning systems, water systems, lighting systems, all the different things that have to take place and start up just to reach that 69-degree set point. Really? So setting everything together, setting up how it's going to look like, and then looking at it on a computer and seeing how it all goes together.
Wow, that's interesting. I want to know and learn that.
Yeah.
You sound super excited about what you're learning and what you're preparing to do, but what's your favorite part of ABS?
My favorite part has to be the fact that there's always more to learn. It's one of those things that as technologies keep getting more and more advanced, I mean, you have things nowadays like Alexa that could control your thermostat in your whole house and all these types of things. Things are always getting more advanced. There's always something more to learn, and that's what I like.
So how do you feel MATC prepares the students for their careers?
Oh, that's a great question. They do an awesome job of preparing us. From the instructors that know so much from so many different levels. I have one instructor who has spent years and years doing just heating and ventilation. I have other instructors who have done just design and all that. I knew nothing from day one. When I walked in, I was a server at a restaurant for years, and then now I feel like I can go in and design the system and help make sure it runs correctly.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, thank you for coming on the show and explaining that to us. Brian, pleasure having you on the show. From all of us here at MATC Now, we wish you the best in whatever your future brings.
Thank you.
Coming up, my son Sawandi Rox sat down with Jeannie Bynum to talk about her accomplishments at as MATC alum and Acting Director of Student Life and Alumni.
MATC is filled with wonderful students and staff. They are the reason why we strive as a college. Jeannie Bynum is one of the many staff members here at MATC who help ensure that the students are successful.
I have recently been appointed Acting Director of Student Life. I oversee the Student Life Department, and here is where we promote a variety of educational, recreational, and social, culture, and entertainment program and services for all of our students. I got an associate degree in accounting here at MATC. Accounting has always been the field of study that I always wanted to work in, believe it or not. And when I graduated, I did obtain a job in that field where I worked several years actually. And when I started working here, it was because of that accounting degree that allowed me to land a position in the financial aid department. So it served a great purpose. I encourage all students to attend MATC, and if they're interested in accounting, absolutely, it's a great program. In addition to all of our other programs, so come. It's affordable, of course you know that. So yes, I encourage students to start a degree at MATC, even if they just want to take credits. If you need to take classes simply just to get a job, MATC is the place to come. It's affordable, very, very affordable. We have wonderful faculty and instructors that work in the fields that they teach, so they're learning principles, current principles of those different fields.
Jeannie is one of many alumni to make a successful future for herself, and hopefully many others will follow in her footsteps.
To gain control and further their lives in the future. With all that is happening, we're going to Zara E. for this week's MATC Minute.
March 20th, there is a free immigration legal clinic happening at West Campus, or West Allis Campus, between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. Students and those interested will be able to get their questions on immigration law answered by attorneys from Michael Best and Friendrich, LLC. March 22nd, there is an employer marketplace happening in the downtown campus in the S building on the second floor. This is an opportunity to meet employers from the Milwaukee area in a wide variety of professions. Check it out. Possible leads for immediate employment will be there, so you can get to know the companies and get your foot in the door. Looking for tax preparation help? Up until April 4th, on selected dates, tax-paying families with an income of $54,000 or less are eligible for tax-free preparation help. Downtown campus sessions will be available to the first 20 clients on Tuesdays between 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. and the first 30 clients on Saturday between 10 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. Please go to the information desk on the first floor of the Student Center to register at least 1 hour before the start time. The Oak Creek campus will have the same services open from 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. in room A120 on the first come, first serve basis. So get there early. Back to you, Heather.
Thanks, Now, before we wrap up for the show, Ray Schmidt, Director of Televised Fund Development, is this week's leader message, brought to us by Daryl Robinson.
Well, the Milwaukee PBS Great TV Auction has been around for 50 years. In fact, this year we are celebrating the 50th, the golden anniversary of the Great TV Auction. The Great TV Auction is an annual event. It's been taking place every year since 1968. Typically it occurs in late spring. This year the auction is running over 2 weekends, April 27th, 28th, and 29th, and then the following weekend, May 4th, 5th, and 6th. And some new things this year with the auction that actually can make it more convenient, or should make it more convenient for people, is that the auction is also going to be online the entire time, including during the week that we are not broadcasting live. One of the things that's amazing about the Great TV auction is just how many, literally thousands of volunteers that have been involved in making it happen over these last 50 years. That's to say that there are a number of volunteer opportunities for students and literally anyone out there in the community that wants to support Milwaukee PBS. Literally millions of dollars have been raised primarily to support Milwaukee PBS and its local programming, but also the overall operation of the station. We are part of the Milwaukee Area Technical College community. We have the opportunity to work with students like you guys. We have other students who are doing photography for us. We have students who volunteer during the course of the auction. I know that some of the technical and production aspects of the auction involve a lot of students who are standing behind cameras, working microphones and so forth. I think we provide a really nice opportunity for students who, especially who are in the telecommunications arts area, to get some real hands-on experience. Plus, the auction every year reaches out to the MATC community, faculty, staff, students, you know, to hopefully to engage them in participating in the auction as well.
For this episode of MATC Now. Thanks to Brian and David for joining us today, and to our co-host, Heather. Cook Elliott, thank you so much for being here today. I hope you had a good time. Thanks again for watching. Tune in next week, March 26th, for our Easter episode, where we'll talk about funding options over break and much, much more. For MATC Now, I'm Sarai Perez, in for Lisa Leon. Thanks again, and we'll see you later. Bye.